Okay, is our guest ready?
Yeah, I can't see her. Okay, say hi. She's responding to me on WhatsApp. She's more of a WhatsApp person.
Oh, okay.
On my live. She's more of a WhatsApp person.
Okay.
You know, some people are more, it's like taste buds. Taste buds is a confirmed WhatsAppian. Taste buds does WhatsApp like the rest of us do Instagram.
Really?
She'll be updating status on WhatsApp. I say, there's status on WhatsApp. You know why I don't like WhatsApp? The fact that there's so much misinformation. Let me call her. I think I just have to call.
Okay.
Oh, wow, I can't call because I'm already in a call.
Oh.
Okay, let's take a couple more phone calls.
Some messages.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Good evening, Ada and Daddy Freeze. Daddy Freeze is asking for proportion and quantity. But when he brought Mr. P on air, and we were asking Mr. P to tell us what he used to treat himself, Daddy Freeze was insulting us. Now he wants us to ask Dr. Stellar for measurements and quantity. Anyway, I have to say, please, Ada, help me tell those who are saying that we're borrowing from China, a country that doesn't know God. Ada, please ask them if it's the church or the government that is borrowing money from China. And lastly, for those that are saying that the Freeze should continue with his religious topics on radio, they should just join his church once and for all, or subscribe to his YouTube channel and social media. I rest my case.
Okay, Ada, let me address that one. You are telling Peter to tell us what he used. Is Peter a doctor? Is Peter a doctor? We would not allow people like Peter tell you what they use because COVID-19 is a symptom. Yesterday, I brought a patient who just tested positive for COVID-19. So far, the only thing she has used is Tylenol. Now, why would you ask a doctor instead of a patient? Do you know why? Because a doctor has the understanding of medicine and they're going to explain from an educated point of view. What this gentleman just said is scary. That you are actually comparing Peter of P Square, who is a renowned musician, and someone who is a doctor in the US, and you're expecting the two of them to come forward with submission. Okay, next thing you want to do is Peter P Square 2 should do peer review and tell us whether his study was randomized or non-randomized. Come on, bro. In your bid to try to punch a hole in me, you are punching a hole in your own head. I'm sorry, but can't you see it? You're calling to try to make me look silly. Meanwhile, the only thing you're doing is making yourself look silly. Okay. It is all well.
Okay, and we have someone here saying, asking that the priest not to talk about religion is like asking a fish to live outside water. Okay, someone is asking that we ask the callers to keep the calls short.
Yeah. You know, I said that.
Okay.
I'm waiting for Eunice. I can't see you on my live.
Okay, well, we get Eunice on. Let's quickly pay some bills and we'll be back in a minute.
Don't worry. Just come and say hi. Yes. Just come to my live and say hi. I'll pick it up from there. Don't worry.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Light is always on. Let's talk.
Are you there? You see something clicking, showing live. Click on it. Okay. Yes, that's me there, looking very relaxed in my nightwear, like the villager that I am. Yes. No, click on it. I am live. Yes, you watch me in it live, talking to you on the phone. Sorry, we could not do it live. We cannot teach you how to do live. Oh yeah, come. Don't worry. Try. Just click on it. You see me talking and just type hi. No. Can't you watch me live? Hey. Okay, you know what? Let me use another account, my madam's account, to watch myself. Don't worry, just hold on, I'll guide you.
This is Life and Dangerous with Daddy Freeze.
Okay, can you see that little thing on top?
Before we went on that break, I promised we're going to bring our guest on video.
You finally got it.
We have our guest now.
Yeah, let me say hello. Hi.
Hello, Daddy Freeze.
Hi, I have Eunice here. Okay, Eunice was figuring out how to use Instagram. Don't worry, the yapping I will give her. Let me just bring her up first.
Oh, yeah. Hey. Okay, finally.
Can you hear the excitement?
Oh, my God, finally. Jesus.
All right, we're waiting. We're holding revival here, waiting for your internet. I hope your internet is good.
Yeah, my internet is good. Fortunately, tonight.
Okay, fantastic. So let me take you off WhatsApp because your WhatsApp is also using that same internet, so you can connect well. So we're waiting, ladies and gentlemen. I've sent her a request. Eunice Atuejide is a former presidential aspirant, and today we're talking about forced marriages. And she was a victim of forced marriages. So, oops, kind of lost her. Go live. Let's try this again. Adobe, have you ever been? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Now I get it. Oh, yeah. Now I get it.
My colleague is from the other end.
Yeah. How now? Hi. This is 11 o'clock. It says to be on standby at 9. I was already sitting here since 9 o'clock.
We've actually been waiting for you, but
What you don't know I'm a bushwoman. I was telling you, send me link, send me everywhere that wants me to come on anything live, sends me link. You didn't send me any link, you didn't give me any instructions.
yeah.
Anyway, we are here now. What are we talking about?
Quite a lot. First of all, how have you been post-election? Let's start.
I had to hibernate a bit and, kind of figure out which direction I wanted to go. They deregistered my party. So it was a lot of restructuring and trying to make up our minds which direction we are going. So, but at the end of the day, we just have to have our voices in the mix. So we've said, okay, we'll go back to where we started from, the National Interest Group, and use it to come back to the arena. So, yeah, we are on track. We were slowed down a bit by the Buhari's government deregistering all of us, but we are not deterred at all. We are definitely on track. He's a pretty woman. Hey, if I get something, yes, so okay.
There's a lot for us to discuss today. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so glad to be here tonight because it's an opportunity for me, as usual, as always, to be with some of the best people in the world. And that is the good people on 99.3 Nigeria Info, the radio station that I swear by, and also the good people online too. And I'm talking today, my guest is a former presidential aspirant called Eunice Atuejide. Eunice has been a friend of mine for a long time. I used to know her in the UK back then, many, many years ago.
Even UI, when you were scattering everywhere, UI, those days, you hadn't been about them. We're done.
From London. I don't remember you from UI.
But I remember you from you. I was your junior, but I remember you well.
For those of you that I went to school, you look at
everybody forgets that.
I'm a trained sociologist. So, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful and absolutely wonderful Eunice Atuejide, a lady that gave a lot of us hope during the election. We believe that she was going to give our wonderful men out there, people like President Buhari, former Vice President Atiku, Omoyele Sowore, Mogalu, and all the other good people who were running for the coveted office of the president. And we were glad to have a woman in the mix. And I was exceptionally glad when I found out that it was somebody that I even know. You know, when you know somebody, hey.
You know too many people. I'm wearing your guy now.
It's my the revolution now. What's happening with the revolution now? I must ask you, even though we're talking about something entirely different today, there are protests going on. We cannot act like the protests are not going on. We cannot ignore our reality. What is happening right now? Do you have anything? To
be honest, I'm quite impressed with Omoyele Sowore, because despite everything, he just keeps somehow managing to like get his people out there to be protesting. This Buhari's government is a special kind of government. The protests are not welcome. So you are going to get people getting shot, getting arrested, and it will continue because they really don't care. It's not just like in the Jonathan system that you can come and line up and do whatever operation, 2012, whatever, you know. It was allowed during Jonathan because that is democracy. We don't really have a democracy right now. So I'm impressed that they keep coming out, despite everything that has been done to them, they keep coming out. It's encouraging. I would have gladly come out too sometimes, but when I think about my children, I'm like, hey, I died before my time. I don't die before that time. When the people are like 1 million a hair, I can hide behind like the first 10 or something. But now that they are still like 5 or 6, the bullets will pass too quickly. So let me not deceive myself. Let the strong men go. When plenty more people have come, then hey, I'll come and show myself. At the moment, it's a bit too dangerous because I'm just too afraid of all those bullets that I see them shooting at these people, and they don't use plastic or rubber. They actually use live bullets. So these are like ready to kill these people because they don't want you to continue to oppress them. I would have loved to say I am so confident and so unafraid of dying, but I cannot lie to myself. So let me be contesting and trying to take power from them by getting the people to support me. The bullet for bullet part, I don't think it has come to that point. If it comes to it, of course, I have no issues picking up a gun and going to war. But at the moment, when it's still in the peace process, we are saying we don't want this, we just want to protest without bullets on our side, and you have bullets on your side. That kind of war is too partial. I cannot win that kind of war, so I'm not going to fight it. But the moment it's now the battle line is drawn, you're carrying your gun, I'm carrying my own. No, I'll be in the front lines. But for now, you get gun, I carry voice. It's not fair. It's not fair.
True, absolutely true. You can't fight. You can't take a knife to a gunfight.
Unless you're really, really foolish or you have some other powers that the bullets will not enter. I don't have such. So I'm really going to be facing a gun with nothing but my mouth. I don't even have knife. I don't even have bottle. It's too partial. It's too risky.
Before, I remember you and I discussing Omoyele Sowore, and your relationship was a bit strained.
It still is.
also has a strained relationship with Omoyele. I spoke to him when he was released, by the way.
Yes.
And it was a wonderful, I've always liked Omoyele.
Yeah, he's your guy, 2-4.
No, well, would I say my guy? He's a guy I like and believe in, but do I agree 100% with what he does? I wouldn't exactly say so. And also the method with which he intends to achieve some of the things he's setting out to achieve, I also find a bit scary.
Yeah.
But do you think, real quick, do you think he'll have any success with the protests, with these ongoing Revolution Now protests?
Honestly, I don't think so, but it's a good thing because at least it gives some parts of the society some hope that everybody is not doing nothing. So anybody who is able to speak up now, who's able to stand and face those guns and those bullets, is seen somehow as a kind of light, like it's some kind of hope that we are not all sleeping, we are not all doing nothing. So some of us really like somebody to be doing something, even if there's nothing to achieve with it, but let it just be that somebody is doing something. So that, to that extent, I say yes, it's effective because there are some parts of our society that need that to feel it's not over yet. So that's one of the things I see in the protest, and I'm like, let them keep going. And in my own little ways, I even support them. I won't come on and stay in the front lines with them because there are some of the things they are even saying that I actually don't agree with also. However, it is also good because it's giving people hope that everybody is not doing nothing.
Absolutely, absolutely wonderful. I'm exceptionally happy about what is going on, and I'm proud of you too for being a useful vessel in Nigeria, a nation democracy. So, ladies and gentlemen, big one for Eunice Atuejide. Today we're here to talk about about forced marriages. And you told me once that you were in a forced marriage, and I want you to talk about that.
I was not in a forced marriage, but they wanted me to marry some general, really big military general in the 90s. And at that time it was military people in power, so they had control of everything. They had money, they had power, they could take you whether you liked it or not or whatever. And this particular man, I don't know, we were doing something in Unilag at the time. I think I was even in secondary school or just and then he noticed me, and because I used to act, I used to dance, I used to sing and all those things. So when I go for those performances, sometimes we're performing in places where there are lots of military people or people in power or whatever. So they notice you, and then they start to come after you with their monies and, trying to impress you and get you to start sleeping with them or whatever. But I was not really interested in all those kind of things. But I would still go for the shows, do the shows, have the fun and go back home, that kind of thing. So this particular man figured out where I was living and came and started dashing my parents food, money, whatever. The next thing I was hearing was that he wants to marry me. I'm like, no, it's not possible. I have a huge agenda. Marriage is definitely not one of the things in my lifespan at the time. I was like, I don't know, 16, 17. No, haba. So this thing continued. I can't hear you. Okay.
You see, 17-year-old girl. You want 17-year-old girl.
Compulsory, not even do you want, let me see if I can convert you, or, no, this is like, do you know who I am? It's me, oh, what's your problem? Everybody else is asking, I'm saying you are the one I want. You are compulsory. And then my parents, coming from a poor background, you will have parents that are seeing all the things, how their lives will get better, if only you would just do the right thing. As far as they're concerned, that was the right thing to do. Marry this man, will have a beautiful house, your sisters and your brother can go to school, you won't stress, you'll have easy life, you'll be happy, or even if you're not happy, all of us will be fine. But that's not how it works. It might take you a longer time, but you can still achieve all these things and give all these great pleasures to them. No, you must go. And then the beatings that will follow. Hey, my dear. Well, I said, no, I'm not doing it. So after a long time back and forth, I just quietly packed my things and checked with my friends and collected all the money I had put into shares and whatever I was buying at the time with my small pennies from acting, singing, and dancing, and just left. I went through Cameroon, got my visas to France to school, and just left. Like, there's no way I was going to get married to one general or whatever. I let them beat me till heaven come down. I'm not doing it. So I just left.
They used to beat you.
Hey, they'll beat me, they'll lock me out. They'll lock me out of the house. I'll sleep outside till morning. Because how can you not, can't you see what you're depriving us of? I believe, honestly, my parents just wanted to, it was the shortcut to, money, freedom, whatever. And I couldn't see it. I just couldn't see it because I had a different plan for my life. And this was going to work for everybody, not just me. Whatever my plans were was just for me as far as they were concerned. But this was an opportunity for us to have in-laws so powerful and influential, have money, everything. And then this small girl that we gave birth to is saying no. So it was a real issue. And eventually, the only thing they could do for me was, okay, I'm done. And then I just packed and left.
Now, did you ever stay with him? Did you ever get to meet him one-on-one?
Yeah, funny enough, I actually considered it. I'm being very honest. I actually remember going to some of his guest houses. I don't even know if he was married or not. I can't even remember his real circumstances. But I do remember going to Ikoyi sometimes to even have a chat. Is there anything I can fall in love with in this man? I actually seriously considered it. So I would go spend time, talk with him, but there was nothing. There was nothing. I'm like, wait, so till kingdom come, I'll be waking up every morning with this person, smelly mouth, pot belly, a lot of things that for me were like an issue. And I'm like, I even tried self. At least I listened to him. I tried to understand if there was anything other than my young body or black skin or whatever the thing that I used to talk about then. I was still a virgin too. So that virginity was a huge deal. And it just didn't, it just didn't work for me. So I told my parents, forget it. There was nothing. Nothing. So I mean, they did all the things they did. I tried to go to the convent refused me. I tried to go to Opus Dei, they refused me. They said I belong in the world. And I said, I even, at the time I was like 19, 20, I even gave up the virginity so this man would leave me. It's a lie. The only thing that worked was to just pack up and go.
So who did you end up giving up the virginity to?
Another military man, self. One of them that was stressing my life at the time, but this one was less intrusive, and it was more like my friend, and he protected me from everybody else. So when I made up my mind that this thing should go, I just called in. He was in Abuja, I was in UI. Guy, how far? I'm tired of this thing. Do you want? I said, of course I want. He said his ADC. I went, I gave him. And then I came back to school and I lost all of them. I'm not even mentioning anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
made virginity become a burden.
Oh my God, it was a huge burden. It was a huge burden. And it was not just with the military people, it was so with the footballers, it was so with the actors, it was so with the singers and the dancers and the directors. The moment they discovered I was a virgin, all manners of people were now trying to get to be the first. Even JT Tom West almost raped me, beat me up like crazy. I swear, I say it was just, I had to get rid of it. It was too much stress.
So before you give up the cherry, oh goodness. For people to come and help us when we're younger, nobody. Oh wow. Okay. Now this military gentleman, you said you were between 17 and 19.
When it started, this started about the time I was like 16, 17, all the way till I was like 19. I think by the time I hit 19, 20, I just left. I just left the country. That was the only way it could be done with.
Now, how old was he at that time?
He was in his 60s, like 62-ish, or like between 59 and 63, I believe. He was a general. He was a general. I don't want to call his rank because at that time, there were not many people in his rank. So if I say his rank, a lot of people would know. They would just limit it to those people who were in that rank at the time. So he was like top there in his late 50s, 60s. Say it again.
Where is he now?
So that you will now know who I'm talking about. I don't know where he is.
Is he still alive?
How do I answer that one without giving away? I don't know.
Oh, wow.
But I do know some girls that got into that kind of marriage. Until tomorrow, they are very miserable. I mean, sometimes parents want to take the shortcut. So they force their young children into marriage, especially even with us southern people. It's common in the north. But even with us southern people, in the name of better life for all of us, they force young girls, sometimes not so young, but girls into the wrong kind of relationship. Sometimes you end up with occultists. Sometimes you end up with people who beat you up, who don't want you to be whoever you want to be. All because your mom, your dad, your brothers, your sisters were only after the immediate rewards, the money, the opportunities, the bragado that comes with being with people with money or influence. I always tell people, it's really about that person, that woman, or that girl. What does she want? And for younger girls, sometimes they think they actually want these things because they see the money or whatever. But can you actually get down and be sure that they know what they are choosing? So that if they really know what they are choosing, you bless them and let them go. 18, 17, whatever the ages are, they can go on because that's truly what they want. I really believe we need to encourage our young girls, our women, to choose what they really want. I'm not saying you should choose love or choose sex or choose money or just make up your mind what it is really. What it is you want.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't care what barrier or what thing, but truly in your heart, if you know this is the things I need to get where I am going to, and it's better for me to marry this man so I can go on. I had friends that they felt like they were prisoners at home. So they just made up their minds and married. It didn't even matter whether they were in love or anything. They just wanted to leave home because daddy and mommy were beating them up over nothing. You find girls who are in their 18, 19, 20s, and their fathers are still beating them up for coming home at 8:30 or 9 o'clock instead of being home at 5 or something. They get tired of it, and then they choose marriage as a way out. Some of them marry well, some of them marry wrongly, and they are unhappy even after that. But what I'm saying is, as long as the girl is saying, this is truly what I want, it's okay to let her go. But to now force a girl to marry somebody she does not care about, only for your own benefit, I can't support that. I don't understand why parents, especially us African parents, why we think we have such rights. I have a friend that is beating up the son to go study engineering. The son wants to be an artist. He wants to draw. No way, you're not going to draw in my house. And like joke, this boy is miserable. He has to go to school and study engineering, much as what he really wants to do is artistry. There are schools in Nigeria that will let him study arts or something, but the parents say no, that is nonsense, you won't make money, you'll be poor, whatever, you'll be dependent, and then they're forcing him to go do engineering, which he doesn't like. I don't understand it, and we find a lot of that in Nigeria, whether for men or for women or for girls. We find parents who believe it's their right to decide the direction the lives of their children take. I don't understand it. It's wrong. Parents should be there to guide, to support whatever the destinies of their kids are. Help them get there, not to decide the destinies. You are not God. You just were an instrument of God to bring those kids to earth. That's all. And then maybe help them, support them to be the best version of themselves. That's all. Not to come and make up your mind what they are going to be and then start forcing it on them. It's a big problem, and that was why I was telling a lot of people that were commenting that beating, all this beating is good for children, it's the way to model us. It's not. There's nothing more important than communication. No matter how my kids, even when they're in my tummy, I start talking to them. And when I have them, I know that they understand what I've been saying to them, even before they started forming into hands and legs and whatever. I shall know they understand it. From the day they become they're conceived in my belly, the communication starts, and then you see it. They don't misbehave too much, and when they do, you explain it to them. Sometimes my kids are really stubborn. In fact, they're worse than me, but we don't fight because we kind of understand each other. I tell them what I would like, they tell me what they would like. If we are clashing, we keep talking until we find a middle ground. And it works. And I'm talking about children who are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then the oldest is 21. So at every age, you can speak to your kids. You can get them to do what you want without even forcing it on them. Because at the end of the day, when they trust you, it's easy for them to go the way you want them to go because they kind of believe you can't have it wrong. I mean, they trust you. You can't tell them the wrong thing. Because they believe you can't tell them the wrong thing, they are more likely to do what you would like them to do without argument. I can tell my daughter, oh, baby girl, you can't have sweet today. And she'll ask me why. Most parents will just slap her. Are you mad? Why are you asking me? Why? They crazy? I'll tell her, you want to know why? Okay, you had one yesterday. You had another one. I'll just give her a list of all the times she had sweet. And then I'll tell her how many calories are in that sweet. And I'll tell her how much her teeth are getting decayed by the sweet. And I'll tell her why it is necessary for her to wait until she has eaten something more healthy for her, brushed her teeth, and then when she has the next sweet, she won't be harming herself. By the time you finish, she'll be looking at you like, this woman, are you normal? But then you will see that she's thinking about it. And then she'll say, okay, mommy, I'll come back at 6. This is something that's probably happening at 12. And you've given her all this. And she will tell you, okay, then 6 o'clock, by then all these things you said would have happened. 6 o'clock on the door, she will knock on your door. Mama, it's time for me to have my sweet. Then you don't have any excuse anymore. You have to give her sweet. But it works. It works. Because when they understand what you want them to do, even that marriage you want them to marry, they'll probably do it happily because they've seen how it favors them, it favors you, everybody is happy, so let's go. My son is the cornerstone of my life, but I don't force him to do anything for me. I cannot tell him, don't go to school, don't marry, don't follow that girl. I can't. I just tell him the things I need. I tell him the things I think he should be doing. I give him examples. On his own, he will figure something out and he'll come back to me, oh, mama, why not this? Why not that? I'm like, okay, that's fine. Oh, this one, haba, babes, at this age, is that what you're supposed to be doing? The moment I say that, you start feeling like, okay, that can't be a good idea. If it's a good idea, my mommy will be excited. And you see that the things you want, he's doing them without you even forcing it on him. I think it's really easy to parent kids, so if you understand them. The more you force your will on them, the more they rebel. But the more you communicate with them and show them all the examples, and you yourself are exactly the same thing you want to see in them, it becomes so easy. 5, and I don't have problems. So I can't be stupid.
Word.
I'm telling you, I have 5 different ages. I can't be talking nonsense. And I've never hit any of them. I've never slapped my son. Never. So it's not possible that I'm talking nonsense because I'm seeing them, they are growing. I'm watching them, the teachers, the pastors, the dads, everybody, family. We're watching them and they're okay. My kids are the ones they don't beat, but they are the most obedient. The ones they beat, you even have to scream louder before they do what you want them to do. The ones they don't beat, you don't even have to talk. You look at them and they know what you're saying and they behave themselves. And people are saying that, I don't know, I'm spoiling my children, I'm spoiling the rod. The Bible says, no. You interpret whatever you like into the Bible. That's the problem I have. And that's why I love you so much. You do so much to educate the people. This is not what the Bible is saying we should do. This is not what Christ wants us to do. First and foremost, love your neighbor as yourself, and many things will follow. A lot of us don't understand it. It's tight. You pay tight and everything is fine. It's a lie. Everything, no matter how much, you have to be sensible. Let me put it that way. You have to be sensible. If you keep going, my pastor said, you waste your life. But when your pastor finishes saying, and you come and you dissect it, and you think about what in your heart Christ would want you to do, sometimes you will throw away what your pastor said. So it's one of the reasons you're one of my best people on Instagram. I hardly come to internet. When I do, the first person I come to look for is what is Daddy Free saying today?
Thank you so much. That is coming from you. That's an awesome compliment. Now,
you're doing an amazing job. I'm impressed.
Thank you so much. Now, what's your relationship like with your parents after not marrying the child?
I love my parents. In fact, it's like at the end of the day, they finally started seeing what I was saying. It took longer, but there's nothing they want that they don't have. There's nothing they wanted me to achieve for them. The only thing it took was time. Okay? All my siblings are educated. They all went to university, master's degree, everything. You know, like everything they wanted to do. They wanted to make sure that my siblings and I went to school. They wanted to make sure that we had a home. They wanted to make sure we were feeding and all those. You know how the normal worries parents have for their children. So in a way, I understood what their inner motives were. Most of us kids that they mistreat as children, we would miss it. We will just see the hatred we have to see in all the things they have done to us. We will not be able to look beyond that and see what was the real intention. Fortunately for me, I was able to do that. And I saw that, the beating no be here, but at the end of the day, what were they trying to do? Was it out of hatred? Was it like they wanted to destroy? No, I just realized that was their understanding. That was the best they could be. So as far as they were concerned, they were giving me everything they should give me as a child, so I would turn out great or whatever. But it would have led to an unfortunate life if I had done as they were asking me to do, beating me up for not accepting boyfriend early, for not accepting husband early, for several things that I just felt, had I gone that way, my life may have turned out really, really horrible. So it was a good thing that I rebelled and went the way I did. But I understood that it was probably from a place of love, even though it was misapplied. So I do have an amazing relationship with my parents, you know, and everything they want, as far as I can do for them, I do for them. And right now they look back and they're like, wow, thank God for you, because if you had gone our way, it couldn't have, you know, turned out the way it ended up turning out. So I do have an amazing relationship with my parents, and I do encourage people, even my husband, with all the things. My husband, yeah, that one, though, in the beginning, if you say it the way he doesn't want to say it, is one big busting your head level, you are in trouble, you know. So at the end of the day, some of these people that we think are hurting us, if you take a moment, that's why a lot of times, much as I am so against domestic violence and a lot of things, I try to look beyond that beating, that quarreling, that I try to look beyond that. What that man, what is he really? Is he a beater? Is he a killer? Or is he just losing his temper because of whatever the background is he came from? Can he be helped? If it is the ones that can be helped, I will encourage the women to try and figure out how to help them so they can come away from that place they go to and then become violent. So much as I am a big advocate for dealing with domestic violence issues and whatever, I try to see beyond just that they have beaten her up, let's kill her. I used to carry fights and go to my sisters, their boyfriends' houses, and beat up people where they beat up my sisters until I got beaten myself. Then I realized that, so also they'll beat my sister or my mom, and then I'll carry their things and return to my house or something. And then they would, before I even get back home, they would have carried their things and gone back to the men. And then we'll start quarreling. Why did you go back? I just realized that sometimes there's so much more. There's so much more happening in the background. So you have to let people come to themselves. And if the abusers, which can be men and women sometimes, can be helped, help them, don't destroy the relationship, figure out how to make it work and stop the violence, but keep the relationship. So my parents and I were good. My husband and I were good. But these are people that sometimes when I think about the kind of things they've done to you, I'm like, Jesus, I don't even know how I'm still here. But I thank God I'm here because I'm a very happy person. And these are all the people that contribute to my happiness. So that they were part of the reasons I had to cry before. Doesn't matter anymore when you have figured it out. So I try to encourage people to look beyond the now and see the bigger picture and figure out how to carry everybody along so that, if possible, everybody can be happy, you know. So
Absolutely wonderful. Everybody seems to love you today. You have won everyone's heart. I'll open up the phone lines.
Okay.
On 99.3 Nigeria Info. That is my favorite radio station where I work 4 times a week, 10 p.m. to midnight, and I get to bring people like you.
Yay.
Gentlemen, on 99.3 Nigeria Info, feel free to call us 0700 993 993 993. I have my colleague Adaobi, who works with me on this show called Live and Dangerous with Daddy Freeze and Adaobi. Adaobi, are you there?
Oh, yes, I am.
Oh, fantastic. So let me bring you up. Do you have any questions for Eunice?
Not at all.
Okay. All right. So let's open up the phone lines. If there's anybody out there who's going through something similar, you're being forced by. I like one thing you said, which totally shifts perspective. Some parents beat and believe that if they scold or spank, it's the only way to get children to be disciplined. Now, they don't do it because they hate the child. They do it because that's the only way they understand. I also went through the phases you went through. For instance, my dad's a doctor. My mom's a professor of law. My mother is a university vice chancellor.
Wow.
Provost of a college of law, former president,
Wow.
Nigerian Law Teachers Association.
Wow.
And imagine you have a son at that level and your son wants to sing.
A radio presenter.
Radio presenter was okay. They were okay with radio. I wanted to be a rapper.
Hey, my guys. Right now, they for let you rap now.
I can't rap, but that year I was bad. I was
Aye.
those years. Oh man.
Oh my God. Oh.
My parents weren't having it. And the more I look back, the more I realize that they were not having it not because they hated me, not because they didn't love me, not because they didn't believe in me, but because they felt I didn't know what I was doing. And they didn't want me to be hungry in old age. And many of the people who went into music as of that time are not doing particularly well now. We always have the Shina Peters and the once in a while stars that became very big and sold many records and have royalties and all that they can check, that they can count on into their old age. And we also have musicians that struggled and never really made it.
True.
You understand? If I sit down now and start thinking of people like Baba Frayo, where's Baba Frayo today?
My dear.
Where's so many
even Daddy Freeze. I mean, what was his name? There was not Daddy Freeze. There was another daddy that was with Daddy Shoki.
and
There were two of them. Daddy Fresh.
Daddy Fresh.
Who was the real voice between Shoki and himself? And then there was at that your time, there were quite a few people that we thought were going to be big.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, we even had people like Daniel Wilson who were becoming big, and then suddenly it was over. And then, no, there was.
People like Daniel Wilson, he's an entrepreneur, so he was able to quickly switch from entertainment to enterprise, and then
business.
Doing well, because he's doing well up until today. Some people found it quite a struggle. Music is like gambling. If you have one successful album, you might end up having 15 unsuccessful ones, and the unsuccessful ones are going to be funded by the success of the successful album.
That's right.
So I understand where my parents were coming from. They were coming from a place of fear. Nobody had done music before in my family. Nobody. I
probably had all those friends that used to smoke Igbo and all those things. So.
Educated.
Yeah.
Like music.
Yeah.
Those parents were all, my mother's mother was a teacher. My mother's father was a lawyer.
Wow.
They didn't understand where I was coming from. It's not like Davido's daughter now wants to sing or want he able to relate, but not me. And I kept believing my parents hated me. My parents used to beat me if I didn't do well in school, and I used to wonder, what do I need to go to school for? I need to go. It has not my radio job if I hadn't gone to school. But guess what? I might not have been this good and this broad. My parents literally forced me to go to the university because I didn't see any need for it. It was a lot of just go, just go. I went in for computer science, ended up in sociology. Going through university for me was a battle. But at the end of the day, I'm so grateful to God that I have a university degree. Because imagine if Daddy Freeze comes out and starts preaching Bible that is different from what everybody else on. The first thing attack they'll be this one that dropped out of school.
Illiterate. What does he know? No, the education definitely helps. Sometimes, you know, at the end of the day, the parents achieve something, not because of the beating, but because the kids just gave in. They didn't just want to disappoint too much. But then they now attribute it to the beating. The beating does not really have that effect that they think it does. It doesn't. But sometimes the kids too, sometimes, well, let me just do it. At least they will stop disturbing my life. It's not the beating. It's just more like, let me help small. Or that feeling of, I can't be hurting them this much now. Let me have mercy on them. It's not your beating that is making them have that compassion. It's coming from within them to help you. So whether you beat them or not, they'll probably still have come to that same place where they feel sorry for you and they do what you want them to do.
Unfortunately, for people like me, I couldn't care less whether my parents were hurting or unhappy.
Wicked boy.
Beating sometimes got the best out of some children and got the worst out of some children. All I wanted to do was get out of my house at any cost. So when I got my first job, I was able to rent a place for myself. I think I was 19, going on 20.
Wow.
I house and never came back. I used to go to my house with my parents and sit down with them, and once it's 9 o'clock, I'll get up. Where are you going? I'm going to my house. This is you people's house.
I actually did that too. I think by the time they were stressing my life too much with that general, I went to rent a BQ. In Ikoyi, but somehow I always ended up coming back to my father's house because of my siblings and because I was always doing a lot of jobs everywhere. So I used to still come and help them with money and, you know, so somehow I was still always coming. And every time I come, that day that I'll say I'm spending the night with them, I'll get beaten for one thing or the other. So I'm like, look, I have my own place, so but I'm still coming and people are still beating this, you're beating things. I don't understand. Well, I do know. I mean, today now, when we talk about this thing, sometimes my parents don't even remember. They actually had no idea that they did some of these things. Sometimes you're talking and they're like, oh my God, really? Really? And you're like, hi, now, wow. Yeah, but at the end of the day, love rules. As long as you have that place in your heart where you are able to forgive any and everything, I think you'll still end up happy no matter what. And you'll probably still end up good with them because whether it's your father or your mother or your friends or your exes or whatever they were, that they were hurting you at the time, over the time when you have finished dealing with all that pain, you still find a way to love them despite every. And I think that's one of the things that all that beating did for me, because sometimes you really want to hate them for all that thing they've done to you. But thanks to my parents, always figuring out how to forgive and understand what they were doing helped me to forgive and understand a lot of things that happened in my life, even some of the worst aches I've had. When I sit and deal with it and I come away from that painful part of it, I'm always able to like say, okay, let it be. It's fine. Let's go to the next level, next phase. So it's thanks to them that I learned that. If I hadn't been able to go through all those pains they put me through and come out on the other side, forgiving them and being happy with them and loving them and looking after them, I would probably not have been able to do it with anybody else in my life. So in a way, something good came out of all the madness somehow.
My quarrel with my parents, especially my dad, whether you like it or not, traumatized me a lot. And I used to wake up even until recently, and I'll dream that I was back home. Yeah, and one battle or the other. I stood my ground. I confronted my fears, but it didn't make them go away. They thought that, oh, he's too strong. When we break him, they didn't realize that they broke me, but
you fronted. Now, I think I didn't get broken. I hurt so much. I suffered so much within, and I didn't just understand why anybody can't see that I had the superior argument. It would take a longer time, but we'll be fine. I will be able to go to school. I'll be able to work. I'll bring the money. I'll take it. Even as I am not even there yet, even as a girl in the secondary school, I was already bringing money home to help. So why can't you trust me that it can only get better? Like the more I go, the more money I have, the more I can support all of you and everything. Why can't you just have faith? Why can't you have the patience you need to let me grow at my pace? Let me not follow these men and collect all this big money, give it to you now, and then tomorrow they're not giving me anymore, but I don't know how to make it, so all of us will get back to the bottom. So why don't you let me do it small, 20K today, 5K tomorrow, 50K next tomorrow, one day it will become 1 million, another day it might be 10 million, but at least small, and then it's sure that I'll always have a way to make this money. Even though I was so young then, I believed strongly that I had a superior argument. My parents, my siblings, they didn't just understand it. They are just wicked. How can you have all these opportunities? All these generals coming here. Sometimes they'll blow siren. Hey, God Almighty, those people were useless, sir. They will blow siren, they will carry escorts. And we're living in the ghetto. I'm telling you, like, you have to, when it rains, you have to raise your trouser. Professor Lazekwe will come to my house sometimes. He will have to raise his trouser, his white trouser, and literally swim through the water to come to my father's house. These people will blow all their siren with their generals and their AGCs and come to that place just because of virgin. I'm like, no normal. Things are happening, big things are happening outside. People are coming to this ghetto for girl. But my father just couldn't understand why those things were not attractive for me. That was the dream. This was like out of the ghetto into a bigger house in Ikoyi or somewhere in VI or something, For them, it was like the key, the opportunity, the roots, it was the answer to the problems. It wasn't for me, and they didn't get it. Tomorrow, self, they still haven't fully gotten it. But at least it's not as bad as it used to be. So everybody is happy somehow. But I mean, sometimes, no matter how exciting it looks, let these children tell you what they really want. It might be small in your eyes, but that's what makes their hearts beat. Let them do their thing. Supporting our children, I think, is the answer to a lot of the problems we have in this country. Because if we let our children do what they really want to do, we won't be having all these kind of thieves and wicked people in government that will go and carry 40 billion, 80 billion and spend it, them alone, and leave the roads that people are dying in, leave the hospitals. COVID-19 killed many people because we don't have hospitals that they can go to. In fact, a lot of these big men that died thanks to COVID-19, I'm hoping that the rest that are living know now that it is important to put these monies where they should go to. We are hearing now, in short, sometimes when I think about these things, I'm like, had we had, or if we would have proper parenting for our children, we'll get people that love everybody. Because if you love people, you're not going to steal the money that is meant for everybody. You won't, your heart, your conscience won't let you do it. So if we raise children that are not afraid, that are confident, and that understand that love is the answer, we won't have much problems. So all this beat, you force your will on them. When they grow up, they'll beat others and force their will on those people. And then the only things they will all know how to do is to hurt people. They won't know how to take care of people because they don't know, you didn't teach them to be that way. I pray that the future parents will have in Africa will think more in terms of tomorrow in that thing that they are trying to teach their children today or help their children learn. Beating, you're hardening them. And the harder you make them, the worse leaders will create for tomorrow.
Okay, we're running out of time. We have exactly 8 minutes left, and I would like us to take a few phone calls on 99.3 Nigeria Info, Live and Dangerous is the name of the show. Ada, do we have any callers?
Yes, we do.
All right,
Hello?
Go ahead.
Hello, good evening. Fine, thank you. What's your name, please? Okay, Remy. Please go ahead. Go ahead, he can hear you.
Yeah. I think that is the first thing. Growing up, I said, and I believe it's really help someone like me. Looking at the kind of environment I grew up in, because clarity getting the environment I grew up. Getting God is good out of it, and it comes with some kids. So we need to understand that we see the right whereby word communication against you, word key became rebellious. So this communication was what takes to read kids. I think things didn't turn out that way. But I think getting the experience is what matters. Education matters. If you want to school the kids, you need demonstration, understand that. Then if you want to see the communication kind of skill, understand that kids can be very, very simple. I feel like that. I want to expect in school. I think kids who became so old, not because probably they don't get it. And I think kids who became what they not because
Okay, Remy.
So one has to understand the clarity of the environment challenging your school. I want to go.
Okay. Can we have another call and then just start to round off?
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, Dr.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Chukwuebuka. Good evening, George.
Okay, Chukwuebuka, please go ahead. You have less than a minute.
All right, no problem. I just want to really appreciate your guest. He held me spellbound. I tell you.
He held you spellbound.
Thank you. Thank you.
Why good enough, we all pass through this. And I was listening seriously several times. But my dad, not my mom, but today he's no more, he's late, God comes to rest his soul, but I'm still praises for him because I felt he's a very responsible person.
Okay.
Can we sneak in one more and then round off completely?
Yeah, good evening. Please go ahead. All right, go ahead. You have a minute.
I feel something.
Okay.
If they want the child to do what he or she wants, with the kind of society, kind of people find the society today, believe you, they will influence our children. A lot of children are so gullible. Peer pressure. Oh God.
Frustration. Yeah, but at the end of the day, the pressure would always come from the people around you, your friends, your classmates, even the social media. There's no pressure worse than what we see on social media. Too much fake life everywhere, but it's influencing our children. It's still the moms, the dads, the brothers, the sisters, the uncles that will still be talking to them to show them what reality really is and helping them make better choices. You still don't need to beat them. The pressures will come. Life is there for everybody to live it. But when they come to you as the person they trust most, your job is to help them figure it out, not to force your will on them. That's all I'm trying to say. Pressures will come from everywhere, but guide, support, help, not control and overthrow and just force yourself on them, even when you are not even so good. Some of these parents that are forcing kids to be things, they are like the worst examples any child can have. Yet they have a right to put their wheels on the kids. It doesn't work. It can't work.
Absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much to everyone who's been listening. There's a young man, Tochukwu, who has been commenting all day saying, Daddy Freeze, I did not receive my own 5K during the lockdown. I'm sorry, Tochukwu. Maybe you should wait for the next lockdown.
Tochukwu.
That during the next pandemic, you will be...
You're so mean. You're so mean.
You missed the pandemic. Don't worry. Just hope there's another
one.
Tochukwu,
please inbox me your account number. I'll send you 5K on Daddy Freeze's behalf, yeah?
Can you see how your life is better now, Tochukwu?
Please inbox me your account number or Daddy Freeze will send you 5K through me, yeah?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful Eunice Atuejide, a very, very wonderful show we had tonight. Very very open, very true, very real.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to be talking about some of the things you said tomorrow live on the radio.
Okay. Trying
to put things together. Thank you so much. And you will believe it. My darling sister, do you know the topic we have for tomorrow? Is okay, you know what? Let's save that for tomorrow. Lovely hanging out with you. Gorgeous.
Thank you.
Lovely hanging out.
Thank you. Always a pleasure. I've told you, anytime, any day, 247, just ring, I'm yours. Thank you so much and well done. Keep up doing the good work. We're seeing what you're doing and we are happy. Bye, dear. Thank you so much.
So much, everyone. Ada, God bless you. Have a wonderful show. Stay tuned to 99.3 Nigeria Info as Ada kicks off Chat Station, running for the next 3 hours. She'll be taking you on all sorts of wonderful, soul-inspiring journeys. So keep a lock with Ada Blessing Omoeleko.
Wow. Okay, thank you so much, Daddy Bruce.
Bye, Ada.